I mean, seriously, if we were to have our own episode of The Unexplained, that's what we should tackle.
Yeah.
What's really up with this dude sneaking into your house in the middle of the fucking night, and then in
Yeah,
my
right.
case, giving me COVID?
Yeah, right.
Which
Giving
begs
you
to ask the
COVID.
question: what was he
Probably.
doing to me at
Yeah,
night?
Yeah, probably kissing you while you slept. Dude, he's not there for the cookies. You know what I mean?
Well, not those types of cookies.
Yeah, not those cookies. He's here for some other cookie.
And that's a great way to start this show. Welcome back.
Yeah.
As always, I am your raspy voiced fucking host, Denny Caballero. And today I have the honor of bringing you Liam Cogan, retired former Navy SEAL, now entrepreneur, veteran, advocate. So today we're going to be talking about taking that bold step into being an entrepreneur. When we leave the military, there are so many organizations, so many people that are going to tell you that you should do X, Y, and Z. But really and truly, everybody should take a knee and figure out what the hell you really want to do in life before you find yourself working at a cheese stick factory, hating your life,
Yep.
and realizing that you really honestly just wanted to fucking, start your own farm or start your own fucking insurance business.
Right.
Liam, take it away. How are you today, man?
Dude, I'm good. Right now, me and my chick are in Key West, parked the RV over by the coastline, and couldn't be better. I mean, the weather could be better, but that's what Santa does, man. He drops off some bad weather, breaks my phone. But no, dude, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's I would imagine at first that idea, that type of life, could have probably seemed really scary.
Yeah. Well, it's daunting to consider living in your RV. I mean, I remember when I was in the teams and, there was this offer like, hey, who wants to go to Hawaii to go do SDV? And I was like, fuck, dude, that sounds awesome. But I'm kind of scared to move, like, What do I do with my house? Where do I put all my shit? Can I really get this going and then fly out there and get another house? Like, dude, I was like, it blew my mind to even consider it. So I stayed. And the RV thing was really similar, man. We got the RV and we're like, yeah, dude, we're going to go on a couple trips. I can use this to go surf and in the Outer Banks and, stay there for a weekend if I have to. And then we just started spending like all our time in it. And then we got on the road and, so when I was getting out, to kind of go back to what you said really is I was getting out and I got an offer from, a cousin of mine and he was like, dude, let's do this gym thing. Let's build some franchise crunches. It'll be fun. And, I got out of the military. I took my military mindset and I got right into a franchise corporation. And it was like, dude, this sucks balls.
Yeah.
Like, this is just like the military. Someone's telling me my good idea is a bad idea because they know better than me.
Yep.
But they're not backing it up. You got people who are the top dogs who are running gyms that aren't the best gyms telling you that their way is the best. And you're like, all right, man. I mean, and nothing to say bad about Crunch. Crunch gyms rule. Like, everywhere you go, they're doing a good thing with how they're franchising the gyms. But at the end of the day, it's just like, as a military person, I was like, yeah, dude, being a chief operating officer, fuck yeah, dude, that sounds sick. Like, that's what I deserve. Okay,
that's
cool.
The title I need.
Yeah. Like, I'm the fucking man. And then you go and do it, and you're like, okay, well, this isn't the freedom I was looking for,
Yeah.
So we subliminally buy the RV, and then it becomes our life. We get out of the franchise business, send it out to a farm in Colorado to help a buddy in need, and then we were like, dude, we kind of just live in this thing now. It's kind of sick, And we haven't gone back, man. I mean, before we got out to Colorado, we came down here to Key West, and it was like, I mean, I hope I'm not blowing up the spot, but it's $45 a night for waterside access in Key West. You can't get that kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's freedom. It's at the end of the day, it's freedom. But that concept seems so fucking scary when you are about to transition and you sit down and talk to these people that are telling you, well, you really need to get into contracting, or you really should be doing high stakes sales. That's where you want to go because you don't want to worry about money. And it's like, really, the main way to stop worrying about money is learn how to budget.
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to cut away from things that you don't need, because
Dude,
you really don't need 90% of the shit you pay for, but nobody's willing to talk about that. Everybody's talking about trying to sell you something, but no one's selling being an entrepreneur. Like, why was that something that drew you? Like, how did that journey begin?
man, I mean, just like everything for me, really, it just comes organically. Like when something happens, I bite. That's kind of how I got into the military in the first place. But, it's like I'm doing all these things I don't like. I'm like, shit, there's all these benefits out there. There's all of these awesome things that nobody told me, right? I mean, I have a buddy who's in the Marines, right? And, you know, he got out, did what he thought were just like medical checks that you have to do when you get out, and then
Yep.
ended up getting like this VA disability pay. He's like, fuck, cool. Like I'm getting some money. And come down the line, he didn't get service connected to the things he should have because he just thought he was going to a med check that he wanted to get done with, right? Like if you're going to a med check, you're like,
Yep.
get me out of here. I do not want to have the haircut and shave that I have to be in this facility right now. And, he got in, he got out, and then come down the line and he's got some serious emotional issues, some anxiety issues, some shit that's like really bothering him. And, we're really close. So we talk about it very openly, and I'm very open
Yeah.
about everything. And I hope that helps people out. But, and then he has to push to get seen for anything. He has to push to get an MRI of his brain. And lo and behold, there's a fucking tumor there. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
And so not only do you have this tumor that you know about on your brain, which is never like a good thing, it isn't inherently the worst thing in the world, but you're also having emotional issues, anxiety issues, and then you have to go through, all these different avenues to find someone who's willing to say like, oh yeah, you could probably change your diet and do some balance exercises, and it may change the way your brain composition is. It's like,
Yeah.
what? So certain things like that are huge, life-changing, right? But then
Yeah.
it goes all the way down to the minute, which is like, hey man, there's this retail benefit that you didn't know about in that scope you just bought, or that thing you really wanted, or the outdoor gear you really needed, whatever you need to kind of pursue your post-military dreams, or during the military, your leave dreams. You could have done it for cheaper. And we don't get paid a ton of money, dude. Like if you can get it for cheaper, you need to get it for cheaper.
Fuck yeah.
And you learn that when you get out.
Pro
man.
deals, bro. Pro deals. Oh my God.
It's berserk. It's berserk what we're all missing out on because it's not easy enough to understand. I mean,
Yeah.
we've all been there. We've all gotten something and been like, fuck, I know there's like a deal. And then someone comes in with the same shit. You get like some new Merrills, and then you show up into the team space and some other bro's got the Merrills on. He's like, bro, I got these fucking 60% off. You're like, yeah, dude, me too. Me too, bro.
I swear I almost cried when Patagonia shut off the pro deal for soft guys.
God,
that was
How many emails did you send? Did you send like 11 emails? Because I did. I was like, no, dude, but I've been to like this school and this school, so I'm kind of like a professional climber. If you thought about it, and they're like,
I found one
really.
loophole. I found one loophole that gave me one extra year. My last year before I got out and retired, was working at S3, running the S3X, and personnel recovery was a category that they had that was available. I'm like, well, this is within my purview.
Mm-hmm.
I do manage personnel recovery. I just wrote up that memo as fast as I could, sent that shit to them. And then that last year, I was like, I need workout shorts. I need some cool shirts.
Yeah. You just eked your way in there. And dude, I'll tell you right now, and maybe it's something you don't know, but did you ever use Expert Voice or Experticity?
No.
Okay, so this is like kind of what we're doing. So we're putting together this PDF of like, hey, here's your state funded benefits. Here are your federal benefits. And you can find this shit. Like if you wanted to find it, you could. It's just not easy enough between deployments, depression, anxiety, overwork, caffeine, sugar, and nicotine. It's not easy enough to do it, especially when no one in the fucking military knows how to use a modern computer. So we're putting it all together and putting it in a PDF, and it's taking some time, but it goes through everything from federal to retail. And the Expert Voice thing is, dude, check it out. You go on Vet Rewards, which is another kind of just like, GovX type website, if you ever been on one of those.
Yeah.
And they just flow out your deals for you. And they're like, hey, here are the deals that you can get. Here are the deals that you need to pay for. If you pay for theirs, you can get a membership to Expert Voice, which in comparison to the Patagonia deal, Expert Voice is like a factor of 10 better.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm talking like scopes. I'm talking silencers. I'm talking guns. I'm talking everything.
Dude, the pro deal with Vortex was chef's kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, I just put in a huge order. I haven't sent it yet, but I'm just looking at it like, dude, $800 for that. I'm saving $800. I'm losing money on this deal, dude. I've got to buy this. I have to.
But when you don't have a mortgage, that's
it's huge, dude. Well, I have my house in Virginia Beach because the VA loan is unbeatable.
Yeah.
And then I rent it out and I make more than my principal on it. So it's like, okay,
fuck yeah,
I'm good to go. That's a business. Now I can just live in my RV. You know what I mean?
Dude.
It's our greatest benefit that people are afraid to use right now. And it's like, at the end of the day, bro, the rates are what they are.
Yeah.
Waiting isn't going to help you. Use your VA loan.
Use your VA loan. And that's why it's important to have these conversations, because it's not the most sexy thing to talk about. People want to live in the past. People want to always, and it's great to talk about those awesome memories. And they generate great content online, and people love that. But that's not what I'm here for. Like, I want to appeal to the listener, to the guys like us that made it through the worst shit. Like, look, we can shoot the shit and talk about the worst days in selection or in Hell Week. But that's not going to help us or the guys like us who are looking for some new insight on how to survive in today's world. Because we made it through that shit. That's awesome. Yeah. But fuck, dude, like seeing other people succeed at things that I want to do or hearing about new things. There are guys right now that aren't going to college because they've been told that, oh, you're too old, you can't do it. It's like, fuck that. VR&E. Go to school. Go. Yep. You've already conquered one amazing thing. Keep reaching for new goals. Keep reaching for new things. It just takes guys like us talking about that shit, talking about what we're doing now. Because otherwise, people are just going to think that the best thing that they have to offer is what they did 10, 20 years before. And that's bullshit.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned VR&E because people don't know Voc Rehab is such this badass tool. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to school, man, because what the fuck is financial management going to do for me? It's like, well, first of all, you get a free degree. So it's like $45,000 and you get it for free. So it's a pretty valuable piece of paper. So if you don't want to do that, well, guess what, dude? What do you want to do? You want to dive professionally? It's like you already got your NAUI card, but do you want to be a pro diver? Do you want to fly planes? Do you want to do fucking anything? It's like you can use Voc Rehab for any course, essentially. I mean, within certain limits, within certain levels of disability rating, but dude, it's a flexible benefit.
It is super flexible. And it's amazing for guys like us from the soft community. Because if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, the barrier to entry has always been money. Mm-hmm. The personal barrier to entry has always been time and age. You always tell yourself, I'm too old to do this, or I don't have enough time because I'm a father, I'm a husband, I've got all these other different requirements and things I have to do. But with VR&E, and if you have a high enough rating, you're going to get that doctorate. You're going to become that lawyer. That's written in the 38 CFR. I sat down with a friend of mine the other day, breaking that down because he's like, I want to be a doctor, but no program's going to pay for it. It's like, whoa, no. 38 CFR. Read it.
Wrong you are.
You're 100% combat. You get paid TRSC, 100% disabled. You get additional time. You will get that doctorate. Mm-hmm. You were a former fucking Navy SEAL. You were a former Green Beret. If that's your dream, if you really want to be a lawyer, or you really want to be that doctor, they will pay for it. You just have to fucking show up, take the classes, and fucking get the grades. Like, that's something we've all done before, though.
That's it. Yeah. All you got to do is put in the time and effort. I mean, if you approach anything like you approach being in the team-to-team guy, think about it. You have no fucking phone. You're not hitting up chicks. Like, yeah, maybe you're drinking on days off and you're fucking meeting some chicks, but it's never
Yeah,
what you're spending your day doing. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah,
You're if you focus on school, you know how fucking easy that will be for you. You
yeah,
know, especially with your level of stress management. And the thing is like dudes think they're too old to start that path. Just like you're talking about, like, oh, I can be a lawyer or a doctor. I mean, these kids are starting when they're 18. It's what they've always wanted to do with their lives. It's like, well, first of all, you got your degree in work ethic.
yeah,
That's the hardest part of getting that degree. And then second of all, the person that your compatriot who went to that college program while you got into the military, if you got out anywhere within 14 years, they're still paying off their fucking loans, dude.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They're working as an attending after 6 years of school. So you're looking at eight to you're really realistically looking at about a decade before you start getting paid what you're supposed to. And the whole
yeah,
time you're barely paying off student loans unless you have access to a trust fund or something like that. And that's,
yeah,
that's extemporaneous. That doesn't really count in the calculation. For a dude like you, it's paid for. You're good.
yeah.
You're starting in the same spot, except for you have insane world experience.
Exactly. And it's being a leader within your community. That's the other thing that's really powerful that I'm really trying to champion and get people to think about. When you are able to knock out such a, and it is a hard thing to do. It will be, but the greatest things in life are supposed to be hard. Anything that's free, anything that's given merits little value, right?
Right.
You go through this hard school, you finally get that doctorate, become that lawyer, become that doctor. Now you're a leader in your community. And I would argue right now what we need more of are guys like us, women as well, that were part of our GWAT era. The guys and gals that went to war, they deserve the most fucking freedom to go after those hard degrees, go after those freaking professions of prestige, to become leaders within the community, to help inspire the next generation of good Americans. Like, I still remember feeling like if doctor meant something. And I feel like that still means something today. Or if you are an engineer, or if somebody that has gone to a school to earn that piece of paper that says, hey, I'm a fucking scholar of this specific thing. Now I can help create something that's of value. We need more people that have that combat experience, that leadership experience, so you can kind of help that next generation. I don't want to be self-serving in my next 20, 30, 40 years in life. I want to work my ass off because I know in reality is retirement is just the easy way to death. Like, I'm about to be 40 in a couple months. Like, just because I'm done in the military doesn't mean I'm going to sit back. I'm like, oh, I'm retired. I'm done. I could. That's going to guarantee one thing for sure. I'll be dead by 50, 100%. Or I keep achieving, or I keep driving and trying to achieve more. And like, that has been proven and has shown that people that consistently engage with a profession that they're passionate about, that drives them to get up and compels them to do something for others, they live to be longer. And I want to be an old, burnt out, fucking old dude that's done enough for his community that feels good about it,
Yeah.
that has attained something. Because I feel like our service is not just like the keynote, it's like just a great stepping stone. But so many of our guys have been told this lie that, yeah, you're good. Now go make some really good money for the next couple years, stack more stress on your shoulders, and then burn out and maybe deal with suicide and anxiety dealing with this shit too. And it's like, dude, it doesn't have to be. Like,
Yeah, bro, it's brutal. I mean, especially for guys like us, where you've had a couple TBIs, and you get out, you may not have like your diet and your exercise plan kind of measured out to the level of success it should be, and you're transitioning into this new job, and now everything's different. You got to learn how to use fucking Excel and PowerPoint and all this shit, and you feel all these barriers because you have these deadlines for this company. You're treating it like it's
yep.
operationally like relevant, and you're worrying the shit out of yourself, and you're letting everything slip, and then you just think to yourself, what the fuck am I even doing? Like, what's the point even? What
Yeah.
am I really doing to succeed here? Who am I influencing? How am I bettering my community? And I asked myself that a couple times. And doing the gym shit, it's like, yeah, okay, I can get behind getting people in shape. For me, getting people in shape makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's one of it is the leading killer in human beings in America for the past, I think, decade or so,
Yeah, dude.
is heart disease. So it's like, okay, I'm doing something good. Maybe I can engage myself behind that. But then I have this huge corporate structure behind me that's basically like, yeah, but and it kills you.
Yeah.
You get out of this service lifestyle where it's like, okay, me and the boys doing shit for everybody, and then you kind of lose that impetus. You lose a little bit of that motivation in the gym. You lose a little bit of that motivation at home. And you're like, fuck, man, I really wish I could feel like I'm doing something again. And it makes you want to go fucking contract and go do shit
Yeah.
like that, where you're like, okay, I didn't like being in, but maybe I'll like the contract world. And that's where a lot of dudes go. Or maybe I'll go back into the federal world, and I'll go to, whatever. There are so many different avenues for us to just kind of go back, and I'm not going to say use it as a crutch, because lots of dudes just want to do that. And it's a
Yeah.
valid option. But to just kind of fall back on what you know, and instead of exploring who you want to be, and the entrepreneur world is perfect for that. Go find what you want to be, and if there isn't something doing it, just do it yourself. If
Yeah.
there's nothing in your community doing it the way you think it should be done, do it yourself. Fix what you think is broken. It's what we do fundamentally.
Dude, so true. And you hit it on the nail on the head right there. Like, we are mission driven individuals. Like, we love having that mission set right in front of our face, like that timeline, that deployment counter. Like, we know we're going to do something that's going to be of value to the greater organization, and somebody at the other end of this is going to benefit from our hard work. And every time some great calamity can't fucking talk today.
Dude, I'm with it.
Calamity
Dude, I do that all the time.
in the world, you just sit back and look at your social media, and you see the veterans in your own friends groups start screaming for calls of action, wanting to be part of it. And it's like, dude, you don't have to constantly put yourself in this mindset where you have to jump in and be part of the next great war or the next cause. Like, you can find a call to action and a mission in your own community. Like, it doesn't have to be this thing where if we see somebody that, perfect example was just recently with the events that occurred in Gaza and Israel. Every single one of my social media channels is blowing up, people saying, put me back in. I want to get back. It's like, dude, your time's done. Your time's done. There's no value for you to make these posts, to make this great call of how you could make a difference. Because guess what? You're not making a difference. You're making a post on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to make a difference at home. It is, for a lot of guys, it's hard to be able to look at the world and say, man, like, dude, stop chasing that idea as being like the end all be all of how you can measure your success in life. We've been at war. We've done that. Now look at your own backyard, your own city, your own town, and realize, like, shit, there's things I could do. There's some people I can help right here. There's tons of homeless people. There's tons of people that need mentoring and coaching. Like, that to me seems like one of the greatest things that we can do within our own community to help inspire hope and change, is being able to mentor and coach our own brothers. It's like, once we are out, like, and start learning and succeeding, and yes, failing, we have fucking data points. We have metrics. We don't have to let other people do the same mistakes. We can be like, hey, wait. Everybody rally around me. I got lessons learned. I just lost out on $3,000 with a really bad fucking mission, a really bad personal project. Everybody gather around. Let's go through this. But it's things like that we don't see as being important or vital, when in reality, like, that's the shit we need to get behind. Being able to talk and share about this experience, the transition, the learning, and getting back to being successful in the civilian world. Because it is definitely not intuitive to the warfighter. It's way easier to deploy.
Tough. I mean, if you could find out, and really it's not a big secret, but if you could channel the energy and the drive and the dudes getting out of, the special operations, special forces community you could channel them into something productive instead of like the confusion and just fucked up fest that it
Yeah.
really is, you know? Hey, channel these dudes, let people know in an easy, digestible way. Here are things you can do immediately to really step up your game, to transition seamlessly, to feel good about yourself. Okay, you know, you could move out of your house, rent it out, move into a space that fits you and your family for the time being, generate some income, figure out what you're doing with yourself, start your business 9 months before you get out, just so you have the name, start thinking of ideas. Here are some tax benefits that you can access by getting your fucking your business credit card rolling already, because you need to start building that credit so you can actually access some more credit on that card.
Yeah.
Here are a thousand things you should probably do as, you know, the creative innovator individuals we are in the military, as far as the military is concerned, right? We're all
Yeah.
listening to orders and doing the same thing and showing up at the same place, wearing the same uniform. But as far as we're concerned, we're the innovators. We're the, you know, we're the special warfare specialists. So go out there and start doing your own thing. Get that business started. Start the credit card. Just start knocking out some of the confusion in the beginning, because even though thinking of the name of your business is easy, and linking a business account and a credit card is easy, and keeping track of those numbers is easy, that's baseline. You know, you've
Yeah.
just made a name. That's it. You do all those things, you make all the contacts, you do all that shit, you save all the things in one spot, you make a little PDF, a budget worksheet. That's step one. I don't want it to sound daunting, but you have to understand it. That's step one. You just did step one. Now you have a public name. That's it. Now you can go into the website. Building a website's expensive. Building an app is expensive. My idea is expensive. Talking to investors is confusing, and I don't know where to find them. You know, collaborating like this and podcasts like this and in different forums, you know, that's how we kind of can keep each other in check. But unfortunately, all these forums, you know, LinkedIn is the only social media platform that I think is still credible in a way in which it actually wants to help people. Like, everyone likes to
Yeah.
tell me when I say Instagram is a little bit of garbage, you know, they're like, yeah, but I mean, I never would have learned how to slice a banana the right way if I hadn't watched it. It's like, okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, I see the validity there. Moving on though, you know, and then TikTok, they're like, yeah, dude, but I would have never understood how to strain spaghetti that way if I'd never watched TikTok. It's like, okay, fair enough. But LinkedIn is still trying and making an effort, but you have so many people posting things that are so self-serving, that shape themselves in a way to be like, you know, help for the community. You know, talk to me. I work for First Financial Brothers or whatever. It's like, well, I don't really need you right now because it's a small business and I don't have any capital to spend on financial understanding.
Yep.
But could you post a free video on what you do for the first step employees? It's like, no, they're not going to do that because they're a business, and that's the first stage of locking you in. Whereas guys like us, it's like, hell yeah, bro, I'll tell you how to start your business and in what order you should do it and where you could get some extra funding and what courses you could take for free and what courses aren't free, but they'll get you in there. Like, there's so many things that we have access to that guys are like holding on to jealously. It's like, no, dude, spread that as fast as you can. You find a good deal and you get it to everybody else. We need it, dude. We'll flip the economy on our own. There's so many dudes out there who could be incredible entrepreneurs, but that first step in the right direction is the hardest. It's like, okay, I'm going to be independent. That's this little mental commitment. I'm going to do it on my own. It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. But at the same time, when you finally commit to it, it is one of the most rewarding feelings on earth. Like, we're not built for the easy path. We're not. If we wanted to do the easy thing, I would argue that none of us would have ever made it through our selection processes, and none of us would have been successful within the communities that we are a part of. We don't want the easy thing. So a good litmus test is when you're getting out and you find yourself going towards something that seems very frivolous, very easy and cookie cutter, run the fuck away from it because it's not made for you. There's a reason why you went through selection. There's a reason why you chose to go become a MARSOC Raider. There's a reason why you chose to be a Navy SEAL, Green Beret, or Ranger, because you wanted to be amongst the very best. So if you find yourself running towards something that is so simple and doesn't challenge you, run the fuck away from you or run away from it. It's not gonna make you happy. Yeah. I'm gonna pause you right there real quick, Liam. I just got a message saying that you ran out of free space on your hard disk space. Are you on your phone or laptop? It's still saying uploading. It says check your memory. Yep, and check your memory. See if you're maxed out on your memory, because what Riverside does is it first saves it on your end, and then once we're done recording, it uploads it. So if you don't have enough memory storage right now, it should be on your hard disk. We'll do this. We're actually it's happened right at the 30-minute mark. So we'll close out of this session. We'll restart another session. So let me close this and then use the same link to enter. Go stop it real quick.
Are always enforced by some crazy old kook talking about some shit like that.
They're the true heroes. That's the real lessons learned. That's living and breathing, and it reminds us to put our health first.
Yeah, right. So yeah, work on your brain a little. You know, like you may not want to go to school, but it's a muscle. You have to flex it sometimes if you want it to work the way you want it to.
When you were going through your transition journey, when you had the idea, like, okay, I'm gonna separate, I'm gonna get out. What were some of the things that you started working on?
Well, the first thing is I just kind of started reaching out to guys, and it all kind of just ties into like where I'm at now. But I was reaching out to dudes, and I'm like, there's got to be some sweet deals out there. You know, like if you're in the teams in any regard or in the military in general, you're like, there are sweet deals out there and other people are getting them, and I don't want to miss out on my very last one. So like, what should I do? And I'm looking at Skill Bridge and looking at a few other things, and maybe, oh, should I sell back my fucking leave or should I take it all before I go? Right. Like these are all huge things for dudes. And you're talking about like, I mean, really blips. What should be blips on your radar as you're exiting? You know, you should be first and foremost taking care of your medical. So I knew that was like number one. Let's start getting the ball rolling here, because I know guys who have been hung up and had to stay in to finish some kind of medical because they find something that's mortally wrong with you, and they're deciding whether to medically retire you or for you to get out like you fucking asked. So that's what I wanted to get the ball rolling with first. Was like, okay, first and foremost, when can I start the medical shit, and how is that going to go? And you kind of have to learn it on your own. I mean, that's really step one for anyone, or should be, is 6 months before you get out, you should start getting seen for everything and anything that has ever happened to you. MRIs, x-rays on every joint. Yes, those are bad for you to do all in a row, but this should be the only time you have to do that. And honestly, an MRI costs an insane amount of money if you don't get it covered by insurance. So get this insanely sophisticated technology working for you for the very last time that you can. So that's kind of what I started doing. Everything takes for fucking ever. Doing the hearing, getting fitted for hearing aids, like everything takes a fucking century. So getting it rolling 6 months early is always good. But then, you're like, okay, so what am I going to do next? Everybody's going to look into contracting. So don't blame yourself for doing it. Go ahead and look, go see what's out there. Do you want to get paid to be on a ship for 6 months at a time, to pull in security for 5 minutes when you're going through like, Somalia for like the 5 mile stretch that you're relevant for 6 months at a time? Do you want to get paid to do that? Do you want to, go stand up, watch at some fob in Afghanistan that sees no action? Are those things you want to spend your time doing? Maybe. Like, you get paid. You do get paid good money, and there is a chance that something could pop off. You could potentially work your way up to finding some fucking lucrative, sneaky peeky contracts, guarding or standing up a diamond mine in Sierra Leone would be one, but there's like 4 dudes doing it and they're hogging that, like if you're getting into contracting, trust me, there are a fuckload of dudes who are in contracting and they've been contracting longer than you. It doesn't matter if you were SEAL Team 6 for a decade. They don't fucking care.
Yeah. I'm just going to, that just to me, that would be a no in my book.
Dude, believe it or not, when I was getting out, I was like, if there was that, that's what I'd be doing.
I've seen Blood Diamond, all right? You're not going to DiCaprio me.
Well, I don't think we'd be as covert about it. You'd just be, instead of like in a suit, looking all professional and smart, running through the middle of Sierra Leone, you would just be like, fucking kitted out, like pointing your gun in everyone's face, like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I cannot think about this right now.
But I don't want to have to put diamonds in my prison wallet to make it across the border.
I'm going to make it back, bro. I'm rich. It's like, dude, you sacrificed your literal asshole. But, yeah, dude, like those are the things that I was looking for, because, like my generation of dudes, there's like some good deployments and some terrible deployments. And that's kind of like the end of the GWAT era, is like, yeah, you can get some cool ones or some shitty ones. And yeah, it all depends on your perspective and what you want to do with your career and why you got in or whatever. But if you want to really get after it, you get out and you're like, I haven't done enough. And so, yeah, maybe contracting is something you need to look into for your peace of mind. And I have a buddy who went from SEALs, went to go do the Delta screener, to go and get into CAG and screen positive. And then from his interview was like, I asked him, we're really close friends. And I was like, how did it go? And he was like, it was cool. These guys aren't really like me, and I didn't feel like I would be friends with my instructors. So maybe this isn't like, maybe I don't want to do this at any means necessary, with any kind of person, with any, and that kind of helped him dispel the myth of contracting. Like, do I want to go over there with, some dude who was a CS who bought a kit? Maybe not. I don't want to go over there with some fucking cook or some guy like that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, bro, but I am saying that there's a certain companionship that you're looking for, I think, more so than you are looking for like the hitter aspect. Like, you're looking to do it together as brothers. Exactly. And there's a lot of shit that we can do like that, Yeah. So I looked into that world, right? A long explanation to say, I looked into that world and I was like, okay, if something happens, if one of my buddies gets into something, or we can do something that makes an impact that I'm interested in, then okay, yeah, like I'll do it. I'll get my kit squared away. I'll go get it over the range, and I'll get squared away to go do what I'm supposed to do. Otherwise, I need to explore other options. And what are the best options to me? Entrepreneurship. There's an awesome program that started up from one of my buds instructors at UCLA, where they're kind of pairing great entrepreneurs, powerful CEOs who have come from our community, with a cohort of American SEALs and Israeli SEALs, and just having like super cool program. The experience was really legitimate. You do a week in California, you do a week in Israel, and you kind of just exchange ideas, meet new people. And that was really awesome and eye-opening. And unfortunately, I couldn't flesh out my personal goals and my personal idea, because I did link up with my cousin. I was just sending my cousins messages, because I knew they're all way older than me. They're all in their 50s, 60s. And so I was like, hey, you guys have been in the business for a long time. What should I be doing? Here's a couple of my ideas. Here's some things I want to pursue. And then, my cousin was like, well, dude, just come work with me. Come figure it out firsthand from someone who's been doing it for a long time. And so that's what I went for. And it just wasn't for me. But I did learn from that course and from being proactive about getting a job that is more along the breadth of being an entrepreneur. There are plenty of entrepreneurs who, like, look at people who do franchises like, oh yeah, you're a total entrepreneur. Like, but it is entrepreneurship. You
It
build
is
a business.
100%.
It's
Like
your
it is.
LLC. It's all your shit. So I learned all the ins and outs from that side. I learned, I will say this. I know 10 times out of 10, I'm going to tell someone, look up the entrepreneurial route, look up doing your own thing while you're getting your legs under you. Yeah, if you want to go work for Salesforce, I know like 11 team guys who are working for Salesforce, and that's all they want is to have an easy job where you do BD and do whatever, and then go base jump on weekends and ski. Like, sure, that's fine. But while you're doing it, just build a business. Build a business that you're interested in. Do you like working with metal, but you don't think you're very good at it? So are a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
Just try it out. Like they might like your shit better because of what you've done rather than the end state product. You know, a lot of people are buying the person that's building your shit as opposed to the idea of the shit itself, you know? So that was my experience. Is like, it's easier to find a job when you got a job, and I'm going to start learning the things I need to know to be independent completely.
Yeah.
And that was it, man. I mean, it was really simple to me. It's like, just let's learn how to be fucking independent, because, you know, you've been institutionalized for a decade. There may be some lingering effects of how you, you know, how you represent yourself in the day to day. So that was kind of my journey. And I think a lot of people experience the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm going for security first and then individuality. And a lot of guys get caught up in the security and lose that individuality. I mean, if you go straight for a DEA job, you're fucking there. You know, that's your new career. So I'm always going to advocate for just try your own thing while you're feeling safe and secure. And then, dude, like you said earlier, build a goddamn budget.
You got
Build
to.
a legitimate budget early. All the things you pay for, how much you spend on groceries a month. That's one of the things we offer. And I'm not trying to pump my business up at all here, because you can create your own budget if you feel like using Excel or Google Sheets or whatever. But we create budgets for people. It's like, okay, here's this budget, pretty cookie cutter for someone like us. Put all your bills into it. Where are you making money? And then things that, you know, your spouse or your family is, you know, just fill in your deficits, your pros and your cons, and you'll be so much better off when you transition, because you're not going to be, you know, when you're in the military, it's like at a certain point, I'm going to get a bonus. So I may go into some debt, but I will get out of it because I'm going to re-enlist and I'm going to make like 40 grand. Sweet. Yeah. And a lot of people depend on that. And you when you're in the civilian world, nobody's going to kind of dig you out of that hole.
No, it's all on you. And that's the thing that we have to understand. You can be more successful by taking those few steps before you get out to just learn how to be fiscally responsible, which we aren't. No, learn how to budget. Learn how to live without frivolous things that you don't need. Do that hard work up front, and that takes away 90% of the stress, the financial burden. Now you can focus on actually dreaming and thinking of what you really want to do, rather than stressing about having to get that job. Because if you stress and you're worried about getting that job, you're going to go into something, the first thing that throws, you know, that comes your way, that throws you a reasonable salary, and you're going to be, I'll take that. Then you're going to be miserable. Right. Or you're going to be hooked for it because you've got outstanding credit card bills. That's what you're going for. Take some time. Learn how to do a budget. And before we wrap up, Liam, what are some pro tips for our audience out there on what they can do today to start moving towards that entrepreneurial track?
Dude, the four biggest tips are: start your business today. So you don't have to have the final name. You don't have to have the final address. You don't have to have the credit card address. Not everything isn't going to fucking match up, dude. You're going to move around a little bit. Things are going to go wrong. Just start. You just have to start. Yeah. You're going to fuck up. You're going to fucking blow it. Your first company name is going to be really fucking stupid. And I mean, dude, you're coming from someone who has butt in my company name, like BUTT, silent but deadly. But we came to that. We found that, you know, the alliteration was what we wanted. We wanted all these different things. It came with our symbology. It worked. So, but that came over time. You know, you just have to start. So number one is always just fucking start. And if you think it's too early, it's It's not. It isn't too early, because you're going to start learning by making mistakes. And then number two is, in the transition process, there are going to be so many questionable variables that everyone kind of looks at like hangups. Am I going to have consistent income? Am I going to be living here? Am I going to have, this crazy lucrative job, or am I not going to land it? Do I have, a cushion of cash behind me? The most important thing is just to get proactive. Like we've been talking about, build a budget, understand where you can and can't spend, and then kind of start bringing your spending down in that 6-month period. You start going to the doctor, start bringing your spending down to see what you actually need, because it's insane how much money all of you I know are spending on fucking beer. Like, you are going out to the bars every weekend, and that's like $300 a night, $300 a night, $300 a night. You're talking about like $1,000 a week. You're talking about $4,000 a month. Insane. It's like part of your whole budget is to spend money like that. And once you eliminate it, you're like, oh shit, where did this disposable income that I've never had before end up coming from? So number two is really just like, understand how your budget works. A lot of us get in, we're like 18, 20, 21, 22. Absolutely no clue. You have more money than everyone you know. They're all in college. So you just spend it. Yep. And then number three, and probably the most valuable tip, is when you're getting out, sit down and write down the things that you think you like to do. You've lost a lot of time developing your individual self outside of your military self. We all like shooting. We all like going out and getting after it. We all like blowing shit up. We all like burning stuff and breaking things. We all like buying kit, wearing kit, doing house runs. We all love that shit. But start finding out what it is you like absolutely the most. And if you like shooting the most, dude, sick. You could start a range, a really successful range, because private lessons with, a bona fide Navy SEAL or a Green Beret or whoever are really, really, really expensive, especially if you can prove yourself on the range, man. So, look into investing in land, starting your own range. And what is that going to lead to? Well, you're going to learn about city codes, area codes, developing real estate, and you're going to learn, hey, can I actually build a range in a non-commercial area? No, you can't. You have to get it rezoned. So now you're an entrepreneur. You do your first gay thing that you're like, oh, this sucks. You're an entrepreneur now. That's really it.
Yeah.
And then finally, talk to your family about what you're doing. Talk to your boys about what you're doing, and don't stop communicating with the community, because you only lose your sense of community when you lose those friends. When you think, we all go through training, dude. You get rolled. You're not part of that class anymore. You're barely friends anymore. You don't know that dude anymore. You go on teams that have different deployment cycles. Don't even know those guys anymore. I've had so many ridiculous opportunities, from just doing cool podcasts and meeting cool dudes like yourself to fucking teaching billionaires how to fucking swim in private swimming lessons. Get out there and just talk to people.
Awesome, brother. Liam, again, thank you so much for being here, and hope to have you again soon, man, to share some more insight. And everybody listening, take care, and we'll see you next time.